partners. And for those who aren't familiar with our collab classes, we're a group of Young Living Diamonds who have decided to work together to educate and equip our teams because, like Gary Young taught us over the years, we're better together, right? We work together and we were able to share a lot more that way. And the ladies on our call tonight are some of the cream of the crop, in my opinion. And we are so blessed to have this time together with them. So if you're just getting started growing your business, I just want you to know we've all been where you are. We remember what it's like, wondering what in the world, where do I start? What am I supposed to do next, right? We've all been there. So it can feel overwhelming, but trust me, it really is just a feeling. And we're here to take away some of that mystery. It really is pretty simple. So let's go ahead and get started. And Leanne is going to introduce us with basically how to get started doing this. You're muted, Leanne.
Thank you. I want to thank Stacy for creating the slides and for all the collaborators for giving us your top 10 tips. This is from your diamonds. Amanda Friedel, Ali Raskin, April Pointer, and myself, as well as Stacy, will be presenting today. So we're going to give you a top 10 ways to onboard brand partners. This is from the perspective that your brand partner has already been a customer, whether for a month or for a few years. So let's go to the next slide. We're going to start with ready, set, launch. How do we get started? Well, when our customer says they want to upgrade their account to a brand partner, they want to start doing this as a business, we start with really congratulating them for making this decision that is life-changing. There is a process when you log into a customer account where you look under the menu and you see upgrade to brand partner. So they have to pay less than $20 to get a brand partner kit. And at that time, you can help them, give them a virtual office tour. They had never seen the virtual office before. And there are certain places in there where they can see their member resources and get their commissions set up, things that are more technical in nature. And besides that, it is also a time when they have made a decision and they are in that phase of determination. So it's a perfect moment to get clear on their why. You are speaking to them from this place of really inquiry. Why do they want to do this? What has happened since they started their customer journey that has given them this motivation to start? So most of the time when we dig deep into their why, it becomes a matter of service. And this is what this work is. It's a blessing, really. It's heart work, not hard work, but heart work. And the way we succeed is to serve others. So as they talk to you about their why, ultimately there is a feeling attached to that. And as you onboard your brand partner, and that may take a while until they really graduate from being under your wings to being totally independent, always remind them to come back to their why, come back to how it made them feel, to really envision what this could do for their lives. And as they tell you why they make this decision, they have a story. So help them craft that story at this time when they are excited to get started, they are motivated. Number one tip. Let's go to number two. So lots of people who start, they start by saying, I need to do this, I need to do that. Well, make sure you tell them we have these made for you turnkey resources. Absolutely compliant, done right for you, and you don't have to recreate the wheel. We love Life Steps. app, and as a customer, we should already be tutoring them through how to learn from the education provided there. And now if they want to invest little money every month just to be able to get the ability to share, have their own website, this is the best that we have found that is simple and clear. And download Wild Insights. Many times they may say, oh, well, it's empty, but you know what? Learn how to use it, learn how to really see the stats and to keep an eye on how they're growing. It is important to plug them into the business groups that we have. And many business groups also have their own graphics that are being generated, writing for monthly newsletters, which you can get from Life Steps too. But the challenges, or even I'm talking about monthly challenges, say there are groups that you can add them into where they start to know how to use the oils in different ways and to learn different strategies for doing this business. And for sure, the corporate team resources, which we've already really shown them since we gave them the virtual tour, and to make sure they know the Wild Facebook Lives that go on every week, the video resources that Young Living has been producing for us, especially on the farms. So learning in this space of learning and educating themselves on Young Living's culture of their regenerative farms, their seed-to-seal policy, their quality, and all of the stories around Gary Young and the way we serve communities around the world with the Young Living Foundation. Those are just as much of the education as any of the everyday to-do list, right? And we have Google Docs as well with more resources. And so just make sure to check in with your team on what's available. Okay, next slide. And as I'm going through this, and as we collectively give you this presentation, if you have any questions, just go ahead and type in the chat. We'll get to that later. Okay, so now we're in the strategic planning phase. And earlier we had talked about the why and the stories. Well, let's have a strategic plan where we are truly sitting down with them to vision cast, to set goals, to really allow them to see, again, what this business can do for them, do for their family, do for their lives. Write them down and have them really pinpoint what it is that they are really doing this for, right? And how much time do they have to give to this business? We can absolutely treat this as a full-time business without quitting our daytime jobs, without putting in the full-time. What I mean by that is that we are always on as a Young Living brand partner, but we may be in other roles in life. And as we are aware of that, the opportunities in which to share actually comes up when we're living our lives in all the roles that we're in, whether as a mom or a soccer mom or an executive in a corporate company or running your own other business. It is imperative to know that Young Living fits into every unique situation. So as you discuss the time management plan, also understand that it's not now I'm a Young Living brand partner, now I'm not, yeah? Okay, so map out a possible downline for them. So this is really talking to them about their circles of influence, who their friends are, how they interact with them. So for instance, whether they are a leader in their community, or they're just, not even just, but they are, communing with others in an area of, anything that is everyday stuff, like your neighbors, right? Or your gardening group or anything of that sort. Everybody has their own circle of friends. and then make sure they understand what's available to them. The team classes, these classes, for instance, every month we produce a nice flyer for you to show you what classes we have available that you can plug your network in, and to have all the other resources and to understand what is available to them every week. Sit down with them about what kinds of classes you want to plan in the future together, and be of service here as well as you're onboarding your brand partner to offer your experience in holding classes with them, and make them understand that they're not doing this on their own. You have their back. And again, looking at their schedule, so they can talk about a time management plan, but you can also really just sit down and say, let's really get this down on your calendar. I don't know about you, but for me, most of the time, if it's not on my calendar, I don't get it done. So if we can put it on our calendar, block it out, that's really allowing them to be focused. Okay, next slide. All right, so the duplication potential. The beauty of this business is that we don't do it alone. And that is also one of the keys to really bringing in the abundance, is to understand right from the start that this is about duplication. And one of the things I learned right off the bat was, if I presented something too difficult to my new brand partners, they would immediately say, I can't do that, and I can't duplicate you. You are too far advanced. So we want to always make sure that whatever we present to them is simple and duplicatable. And what that means is, maybe it's as simple as saying, all you need to think about and all you need to tell every customer of yours is that if you enroll 2 in a month, you are going to cover, right, your starter kit. You're going to cover your every monthly order to a certain extent. Now, what happens with the power of 2 is, when every single customer has 2 people that they enroll a month, it starts to multiply really, really quickly. And that is the amplification and multiplication of your team. Everybody has 2 people that they come across in 30 days that could potentially have a desire to add non-toxic products into their household. So helping them do what we did is essentially that. Hopefully what we did is simple enough. And if it's as simple as sharing a graphic that we sent them, and when we start to duplicate and allow for duplication that is simple, then we're really creating our own community, creating our own culture. And again, you want to duplicate in your community your values. And one of the ways we started out was having a really dynamic team that understood right away what the culture was. And I mentioned Young Living's culture earlier, and really we are a culture of collaboration, a culture of respect for nature, a culture of respect for our health and wellness. And so those kinds of things and can really be spread out in your team, duplicated, and that creates your culture that will thrive. Okay, I believe the next tip is Amanda.
Yes, it is. So Leanne gave such great tips there. I'd love to hear from you what your favorite tip was, or maybe something that you've been overlooking in your business. In tip number 5, I want to talk about some of the how to do some of those things. So when they become a brand partner now, did anybody in here become a brand partner? Has everybody been a brand partner longer? I know we kind of talked about those years earlier. I want now, it gives you so many great tools. Business kit that you get when you upgrade your account is going to be one of the very first things that you might want to meet and go over some business basics with. All right. So whether you walk them through the Rise 90 Day to Success booklet, or you go through Life Steps has some onboarding tips, you're going to want to meet with them and go over their basics and then help them understand what their first goal should be as you go through that. Walk them through the virtual office. I actually did a video for my team last night. I redid a video and I was blown away by how much we offer. We have entire pages with courses on them. We have entire pages with our science information and our farm information and our patents and so many more things. But help them see what's available and how easy it is to use so that when they go to share, they too know where to find things and feel empowered and equipped with our tools. And to me, one of these early meetings is going to be where we walk them through that income disclosure statement and help them, you might explain your business journey in that process, which I think is just so valuable. You may also want to use that income disclosure to help them see where they want to go and what's even a potential. When I got started in Young Living, I couldn't see beyond making enough to get my product paid for. And you may have people like that too. Somebody who is really wise in my early journey said, help people see their next goal and then the goal past them, help them see, not get so overwhelmed that they go, oh, I could never be an RCD. I can't make that kind of money. You can work on that mindset later. You can help them through those steps later, help them see where we start and how we get to those next places. It's so easy to hit the rank of star. After you get the rank of star, like Leanne was saying, you're going to help them enroll and you're going to see how quickly you can multiply and duplicate. And so sharing your own journey, what that looks like, how many hours a week that look like working, can help clarify some of their own goals. Thank you. All right. Tip number 6, get them plugged in. I think that this is something that I just really value so much, that for me, the Young Living community has changed my entire life. My best friends do Young Living, whether they're our Crossline Collaborative group. We are the first people to go to when we have a need, when we just all kinds of things. Maybe we could kind of brainstorm some of weird things. We've even like, does anybody own this kind of thing? Our community has the same values and resources and knowledge, and we just become that part to each other. Also, we grow that with our downline and our crossline as well. And those are the best place to find somebody to run with, somebody to lock arms with. I'm going to share with you just a couple of examples. The first one is find those people you want to have on your front line and talk to them. I remember saying to one of my best friends, I want to do this with you. And she actually had a wedding coming up. And she said, I'll wait till after the wedding. And literally it was Tuesday after her kid's wedding. And I said, you ready? And so we locked arms and we did it together. And that was super exciting and fun. You can also do this with somebody crossline, somebody who's in about the same spot as you. Many, many times I will message somebody who's at about the same size organization with the same goals. We're working about the same level. And we'll be like, how'd you do today? And there's a certain amount of accountability in that because it's somebody who's working at the same direction you are. So grab somebody up whose goal is to hit silver by the end of the year. Grab somebody up who wants to go to a retreat. It just makes everything better together. And look for places where you can get collaboration. We make each other better. We share our gifts and our talents. Many of my gifts don't, I don't know how to say this, but my gifts give back to them. And I am so thankful that they'll use their benefit to look like positive wording and help me figure out how to say something to somebody. Have somebody else figure out where to, who does great graphics, so that we're not all spending our time working as islands, but we work together because a rising, somebody give me the good quote, but the rising sea lifts all ships. And so we're going to be making Young Living better together. And that is 100% the place where I gain and give inspiration. And my hope is that people feel encouraged. One of the things we used to do, rising tide, thank you. I knew the C wasn't the right word. So I had a friend and if you've never heard my business story, we had nothing. Young Living came in. My husband was a pastor. We just didn't have a lot of money, but we would tell each other what we were doing each month with our Young Living check. And we did it in a Facebook group. And we can look back and 5 years ago, look at when we she bought new curtains for her house and paid for them in cash and didn't get them at Goodwill. And I did couches off a marketplace. Like those sorts of things are totally inspirational, and it's a place you can keep going. And plan out for convention. You're seeing in the comments all of the convention people that are going to be there. We're going to be there. We can't wait to see you there. We'd love for you to come see us there. And it got extended, so you can still buy your ticket, your in-person ticket through the end of June, and your virtual ticket through about a month from tomorrow, I think. So get your ticket. There's going to be convention only perks that you don't want to miss. And it's just the absolute best place to get plugged into your team and the bigger Young Living community. My very first year, I took my mom with me and one of my best friends, and we went and we slept in a basement of a house, and we did it on a low-key budget, but it gave me a perspective of how much bigger Young Living is, how great the farms were, how amazing the people were. My mom was in a wheelchair, and everywhere we went, people were opening doors or helping me get through. And it just was a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I want to encourage you to get to convention. April said she sold t-shirts. I sold stuff up, I had like a garage sale. So I want to encourage you. You can get to convention. It's June. Our check in July will come right at convention time. So it can help pay back some of those expenses for you. Enroll some people this month and get there. Allie? And this is my last one. Don't be afraid to share the earning potential with people as you're talking about this. And if you don't have a story yet, I just want to encourage you that we have stories in our team that you can use, stories right here. I would love to hear a little bit about what the Young Living earning potential does for you. If you guys just want to put like something that Young Living has done financially for you or your family or somebody you know, go ahead and put your, like, just maybe even your rank, like, this is what Young Living money does for me and has helped me within my family. I remember the first time that it let me buy the groceries I wanted to buy instead of what I thought I could afford. And that was a huge deal for me. And it was literally at my 5th paycheck. And so people are giving more than you could ever imagine. Help people see that. Introduce to them some of the rank perks that come with Young Living. The rank perks of Young Living are part of my absolute favorite things. A number of us will be gone next week on a diamond trip, and it's not just diamond where Young Living treats you amazing. There are, from the minute you hit a silver retreat on up, you are treated to an experience like nothing I'd ever experienced before Young Living. And it's not just gifts, although I like a free gift. And it's not just a fancy dinner. It's the people and seeing how normal everybody is in Young Living, and seeing that not only could they hit silver or gold or platinum or higher, but that I too could hit those ranks because they were normal people, and you were getting it's just the best place of people that you're going to be able to collaborate with for the rest of your Young Living journey. And so if I've met you at a retreat, it's just like we lock arms together and we'll sit there and talk until, I would love to hear how Silver Retreat changes your life. Let's put some comments in there. The retreats are just one of those things that people should look for. And I want to be honest with you, as somebody who came from a very poor, I don't love the word, I would use a better word there, a very tight financial situation, the earning potential of Young Living at Silver is huge to most families. And in our world right now, we need to be telling everybody about the opportunity to earn income and then help get our products paid for, because we can absolutely change our family's life and then on for future generations. Thanks so much for letting me share. Tip 7.
Sorry. Thanks, Amanda. That was really good. And I agree that first Silver Retreat, there's really nothing like it, because that's when you start to really realize, wow, this is real and this is happening. And if we have our water heater goes out, I'm not going to be stuck in this horrible situation. We can actually handle it. That paycheck out. But that first Silver Retreat, they just honored us. They really made us feel valuable, and we got to connect with other people that were doing the same thing and just as excited as we were. And so to me, that was worth so much. Okay, let's talk about making that first paycheck. So that's one thing that I really tried to, because I was so excited about the fact that we were able to pay bills now without all the stress and anxiety over month to month, that was kind of something I just naturally focused on. So back in the day, I had created this cartoon called The Accidental Paycheck, which we're not allowed to talk about anymore. But that was a cartoon I did. And the focus wasn't to say that, you know, you can just accidentally have a business. The focus was, when you start out, I just walked people through the process of how you're doing this stuff anyway. You're using the oils. You're talking to people about the oils. It's natural, just like you talk about your shoes or your favorite restaurant. You're doing this anyway. So this is actually happening. So the accidental side was the fact that it transitioned so easily into a business. Not that you can become diamond accidentally, but this was more how you get started. And so I walked them through the math. And so the cartoon was these two women, moms, just in their living room, talking about the oils and talking about how they could use this or that for the child. And then I started doing the math. And so that's what I still do for people, not with a cartoon anymore, but I do walk through and show them the math. It's like, okay, so first of all, we want to focus on that starter kit, okay? Because the starter kit is the best way for people to get involved. You can share about other oils, but if you get them, you know, show them the value of the starter kit, then they have more oils to experiment with, and the more likely they are to really be hooked on it, because now they've seen more value, right? So I always start on the starter kit, and they get the starter bonus with that. So I show them, okay, so if you enroll one person with that starter kit, you're going to get a $25 bonus. Plus, you're going to earn 50% of whatever they spend that first month. So you have a minimum of $75, boom, just for sharing the starter kit. So focus on that. I don't really go in when they're brand new builders, I don't overwhelm them with the whole comp plan. And Allie has a really good compensation plan booklet that's just the perfect size for just walking through. And I don't walk them through the whole booklet on that, you know, when we're starting out either. I just go straight to the starter kit bonus and the commission and just kind of, you know, highlight a few other things throughout the book. But that's really what you want to focus on, is how they're going to get their first check, how they can, you know, what happens if it's, you know, 2 people or 3 people, and just, again, do the math for them. Walk through that easy example of what that first check's going to look like, and then get them on direct deposit too. So that their check doesn't go into Never Never Land. You know, you want to make sure that it ends up in their bank. So help walk them through that. And if you need to, you know, bring your computer along and help make sure they do it right, that's always a good idea too. Okay, so let's go on to slide 9. Okay, and here's the fun part, y'all. Having those home gatherings, right? Help them plan their first class. Start to give them ideas on how to do it. And hopefully, if they're local, you've already invited them to your own class and they've had a taste of what it's like. What I typically do is, after that person has come to and visited my classes a couple of times, now it's their time. Now it's their turn. So I've done it both ways. Sometimes I'll let them teach the class in my house. We just have plenty of room and it just works out. And sometimes people don't have, you know, maybe they're in an apartment with babies and, you know, things like that. And so they're not, so I'll let them do it in my house, or I'll go over to their house and help them do it. But I'm basically there. I'll teach their first class if they want me to, but I'm basically there to answer questions, and they're the ones there to teach. Okay. And I help walk them through the closing process, because that's how they learn. You're training them as they go. The same thing with vendor events. I think vendor events are great ways also to train, because what's happening? Every single person that comes to your table, you're saying the same thing over again, right? You've got certain stories you're sharing, you have certain processes you're repeating. And what's happening is those people you're training at the booth with you, they're hearing it over and over again, and they're starting to say it over and over again. And so they learn really fast. And also they get the benefit of meeting new people and hopefully enrolling a few of those people. And I usually give those away too to whoever I'm training. So it works out really well. I actually have a Google Doc that I'm going to share with you in the comments section that has a list of class themes for your home gatherings, because there are all kinds of opportunities for different themes, and you want to keep it fun too, not just I mean, although each of my classes are classes, I also try to have a social aspect to it. And I know some of you are probably doing some of the same things, but we'll have a Taco Tuesday, or we'll have a latte and lavender. This next week I have what am I calling it again? It's like, I forget now, Staying Alive. We're doing Staying Alive rollers, and it's Friday night wellness fever. So we're doing a whole disco theme. We've got psychedelic roller bottles. And so we make it fun. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to talk about several of the starter kits, because our focus is immune supporting, okay? Staying alive and all that. So we want to focus on some starter kits, whichever ones, fit the best at the time. So I'm going to give you that list. I think I already clicked it in there, and feel free to save that. And if we need to put any other resources in this Google Doc, y'all let me know, because I don't know if we set up any other Google Docs. So I can just copy and paste everything into this document so everybody has the links. So just let me know. Okay, and on to the next slide.
Hey, you guys. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about, oh my gosh, sorry, my family is really loud, how to enroll. And I just want to get a feel for y'all watching right now, who on this call has never enrolled somebody? If you've never enrolled somebody, just type a 1 in the comments if you have access to your comments. I guess I'll come back and look. But I'm going to tell you guys, there is a magic secret sauce to enrolling, and it is this. It is that you listen for problems and then you present solutions. That is like the foundational baseline of enrolling anybody, literally anybody. Listening for the problems and presenting solutions for them. It is a matter of intentional about doing that, taking the time to do that, taking the time to listen, maybe even look for a problem as they're telling a story, and then present a solution. Sometimes it's a financial thing when people are talking about maybe inflation or the economy, or losing a job. Like, this is a solution for that too, right? Not just products. So listen, and then be very purposeful about presenting a solution for them. The way that I think enrolling in a lot, probably the vast majority of the time, is through follow-ups. And follow-ups are something we hear about all the time. They happen in everyday life. It's not just our business model. If we're sharing about the starter bundle in general to a person, and that person maybe decides they don't want to join Young Living, you would want to follow up with them in 3 to 6 months later and see if they're open to buying it. Even at that time when they say no, you could always bring up, like, well, maybe another time would be better for you. I had a dentist who was like, absolutely no, not my thing, not into natural stuff. And I said, if you ever change your mind, if you ever to decide to explore anything natural or non-toxic, or you just want to try something new, like, please keep me in mind. Please reach out to me. Like, let me be that contact person for you. Oh my gosh, can you guys hear that? Hang on, let me tell them to stop.
We can't hear them at all, April, don't worry.
I don't know what is happening in there, but it's like the sky is falling. Now you might hear my husband yelling. I am so sorry.
We cannot hear it at all.
Okay. I'm sorry. Anyway, so let me go back to that. So anyway, we can all hear you guys. Anyway, you can follow up with them later, right? You can say, if you ever do decide, if you ever change your mind, please let me be that contact person for you. Don't go to the next person or find somebody random online. Like, let me be that person for you. Anyway, my dentist did. She followed up with me about 6 or 8 months later. Her her daughter ended up having some vaccine injuries and called me and was like, okay, I'm ready to listen. And so I'm so glad I said that to her. And that whole instance is who taught me to say, if you change your mind, come back to me. Like, let me be that person for you. So there could be somebody, maybe you teach a class or you share with somebody and they want to talk to their spouse about it. And great, totally respect that. Follow-up call could be a few days later or the next week, but don't wait for them to call you back because they might talk themselves out of it in the meantime. Like when you're in the moment and you're like, yes, that would be awesome. And then you get out of the moment, like kind of fades a little bit, right? Like the energy fades, the excitement fades, and you can follow up with them and help bring that back and remind them, hey, this is why you were really excited about this a couple of days ago when we talked, you wanted to talk to your husband. Anyway, or if you're just, following up with somebody that you had lunch with and whatever. So follow-up is super important. We're always selling. That should be no surprise to you guys, whether we like it or not, we're always selling. And it's selling is just, everyone hates the word selling or salesy, but really all it is communication, and you're providing value through that communication. So you're giving something away that's going to help somebody's life get better. Value can come in many forms. It can come in your friendship, your time, your knowledge, your tool, which is going to be your product, your essential oils. That's going to make somebody else's life easier. So if you're constantly providing value and you're building credibility with people, they're going to be open to hear what you communicate to them. Okay. Every time you follow up, you increase your chance of success. Every time you don't follow up, you decrease your chance of success. So all the experts say around 80% of sales are made after the 5th follow-up. Usually around the 7th or 8th, but it's usually 80% are after the 5th follow-up. And yet over 50% of people will quit after the 1st follow-up, and they won't do the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, or the 5th. And that 5th is usually around when you start seeing people say yes. And it doesn't have to be like, hey, are you ready to buy? Again, it's just simple communication that's providing solutions and value to people in a gentle way, right? We're not being overly overbearing and here, buy my kit. It's, hey, how are you guys doing? Is your daughter sleeping any better yet? And what other solutions have you tried? Remember that time I told you about lavender and Unwind, the magnesium supplement we have? You just got to be real caring, right? We care about our prospects, our people. We want to be healthier. So follow up, 5th attempt. Where was I? Okay, so what does that even tell you? How often do we give up, right? We give up way too soon. And a lot of people fail, not because of their lack of skill, but because of their lack of persistence and the discipline to follow up. I mean, it does take a lot of discipline to follow up. I have literally reminders in my phone. I've been doing this for 12 years, and I still have to remind myself to push myself. It's not a reminder that I forgot. It's a push, get off your butt and go do this. It's a simple phone call or a text or a voice message to follow up. So how to follow up? Well, first, you should be very clear that your prospects are not really focused on fancy products or smooth compensation plan we have. What they want is a solution to their problem. That's all. And this is what you need to target when you're doing a follow-up. There's kinds of follow-ups. If somebody turns you down, I think the easiest way to follow up is to ask for permission. Meaning, generally, if somebody were to turn down my idea or decline to buy what I'm selling, what solution I'm offering, I simply tell them, that's okay, that's great. I respect their decision. I want them to feel that from me, that I respect their decision. And then ask them if it would be okay if I checked in on them in a month or 3 months or something or whatever. I just, get their permission. People will usually say yes. I can't think of a time that anyone's ever told me no when I do that. I don't do that with everybody, but the people I've asked, I have gotten yeses from, because maybe then in that time, they're going to have that need in their home that essential oils can fill, and they're going to see it. and they will be ready for it. They'll be ready for the yes. Again, like my dentist years ago, she was a hard no. She had an experience that was like, wait, my friend April would probably know about this. Let me call her. And then she changed her mind. The second kind of follow-up is somebody who just like needs time to think about it. Such a common response to have to make sure, but you have to make sure you have to set like a specific date and a time for that follow-up. That could be a phone call. It could be a physical meeting. You're hanging out, you meet for coffee, you have them over for a play date. But generally you want to set that follow-up date, like not too far in the person's mind, right? Like not too far away. So remember, 80% of the sales are done after the 5th follow-up. So think about that. Like what areas are you needing to follow up with? Like maybe it's about loyalty rewards. Hey, I've been seeing you order every month. It would make a whole lot more sense to get on loyalty rewards. Or you made a 300 PV order. Let me help you break that up into some smaller orders, and you'll actually get some percentages back on that, over time. Like a 300 PV order in a month could be 3 orders in 3 months, 3 100 PV orders, and then they get, whatever is being offered at the promo, and then they're also going to get points back. So that's another way to follow up too. Okay. I think when you open doors like that and you follow up and people know that you genuinely care, like you genuinely have to care here. If you don't like people and you don't genuinely care about people, this business is not for you. It just isn't. I'm just going to say it, it just isn't. People buy you and they want to know that you care, and we have to care. We want to care too. It's not about all the money we're going to make. It's literally about like helping people live healthier lives, something we're already passionate about. So Stacy mentioned also ways to enroll would be things through like classes or vendor events or, one-on-one with somebody. Most people start with one-on-ones. They'll enroll their mom or a sibling or their child or husband or somebody really close to them. And then they'll move on to like little in-home gatherings or what we call classes or parties, whatever you would like to call them. And you can teach those things on various topics. There's 1,000 scripts anywhere. Your upline will have it. They're all over YouTube. They're all over the internet. There's lots of books about scripts. If you're not comfortable putting something together, little outlines like that, all been created. If you look at Oil Supply Store, she has so much stuff like that. But Dr. Mom classes or ditch and switch and chemical free home or animals class or beauty school, but there's all kinds of topics. And if you don't want to do parties or classes, you don't have to. You can literally enroll one person at a time. There are people who have hit diamond never teaching a class because they are only invested in these one-on-one relationships. Sometimes they're online, sometimes they're in person. So whatever fits your groove, do it. Another way to enroll is using the wish list feature and the share link. If you don't know what wish lists are or your share link is, please type a 1 in the chat. I'm thinking everybody probably knows what that is, but the wish list feature for sharing is totally free, and you can create multiple shareable lists in seconds. It's sort of like an Amazon wish list. Okay, you put everything in a category, like everything I want to use for hormones, or I want to recommend for hormones or for sleep or for kids. And you can make these different lists, and then you can send somebody a link to that list to enroll them. And you can make a specific list for a certain person as well. Maybe you talk to somebody about, maybe you talk to someone like a neighbor or someone on an airplane, and you guys were talking about, I don't know, low libido. And so you put together all the things that you think are going to help with low libido into a wish list, and you share that specific list for that person. So it's a really cool feature. You can save items in it for future shopping. In our loyalty orders, you can share the lists with anybody. You can create custom starter bundles, like I was saying, for new people. So all you do is you go in, you add the wish list button, not add, you go up and you go to the drop down, and it says wish list. And then same with your share link. It's the same drop down. Once you log in, it's that very first drop down on the right, and it'll say share YL, and it'll give you a personal referral link, and that you can use, and you can email that link, you can text it to someone. When they click it, they'll automatically be assigned to your downline when they purchase something. Now, when they are checking out, tell them to make sure that it is your member number in that referral slot. And something I like to do to make sure that I know when they enroll is I'll say, please let me know when you check out, like forward me your receipt that you get, your email, and I would love to send you a little thank you gift. And it's most of the time, it's just like a little roller bottle, or it's a little pamphlet or booklet on how to use your oils, or I'll make a bunch of like peppermint lip balms, or like you can do anything and use up any of your freebie oils that you have as a thank you. But that way I know when they've checked out, and I can go look in my own downline viewer and make sure that they show up and they're there. And if for some reason they're not, then, take that up with Young Living. But it's just a great way to know for sure, and they don't get lost in the mix. And they're like, oh, but I signed up under you a month ago. And you're like, I didn't even know that you ordered because something went wrong somewhere. And maybe they'd accidentally populated a number of somebody that they had looked at their website or their, their share link at some point, and it somehow saved it. I don't know, but weird things have happened on occasion. So you just want to make sure that people end up on your team in your downline. There's things that we've done to do incentives. I've given, $20 cash back to anyone who got a starter bundle. I mean, you get $75 if somebody gets a starter bundle. So I can give up 20 as an incentive to be like, hey, it's $20 off today, and I'll give you that back as a product credit, or I'll send you an Amazon gift card or something like that. And those are all the ways, or some of the ways, to enroll people. I'm quickly going to move on to the next topic, which is celebrating people's wins. You people on your team celebrating their win. This is a fun little thing that I bought that it's like a disco ball, it's super fun. And you can get on a Zoom and you can do like a big fun recognition Zoom and recognize people, announce publicly, do a video even to announce publicly that somebody has ranked up, or they've taught their first class, or they've just gotten to the next tier in loyalty rewards to earn that next percentage back. I mean, there's just a million things you could recognize and celebrate. I would love to know what you guys celebrate and do recognition for with your teams. If you would type it in the chat, like I was saying, like someone just teaches their first class or they become a brand partner. So announcing publicly on social media, something that my sister and I have talked about that I've done is, well, I haven't done this, but I've done something similar to it. But we were talking about starting something called the Enroller Club. And you host a little gathering and serve something easy like tacos, or have a little potluck and make it about the community. And you only invite the people who have enrolled one person within, say, the last 2 months, one person or more. And you come and you celebrate them and give them a little handwritten card while they're there and recognize them that, hey, she enrolled this person. But yes, it is about recognition, but it's really about community, so that they find their cross line there and they connect with those people. A handwritten card in the mail is very special to people, of course. A phone call, picking up the phone and congratulating people on whatever it is you want to congratulate, like earning Kona points for the Hawaii trip. That's a really good thing to be recognizing. Something that is very personable is taking a video of yourself, a selfie. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, I thought my flashlight was on. Taking a video of yourself or a selfie. I would say a video, and congratulate somebody where they can audibly hear your voice and feel your energy as you are congratulating them on whatever they've done. That is way more authentic than a text, and they can feel your excitement and your energy. So it's really about how you want to make them feel. And that is hard to do via text. I think there's a time and a place for congratulatory texts, but there's not very many, unless it's somebody on your level 30. Like you've got to go a long ways and be like RCD or something to start sending texts to people that you don't know, congratulating them. And I am RCD and I actually don't even do that. But I'm just saying, if it's a last resort option and everything else fails on the planet and the apocalypse happens, you can text them a congratulations. I really, really want to reiterate like them feeling your excitement and hearing you, because again, it's how you're going to make them feel, and that they will remember that. They will not remember your text a year from now or 10 years from now. But I hit silver in 2012 or 2011. I literally remember the phone call my upline made to me, crying. Like she did that with my sister as well. She's just good at that too, Danette, if you guys know her. I remember that. That was like 12 years ago. My goodness. I wouldn't remember her text, right? So you can send people a little gift, like maybe a little freebie that's you've earned with Young Living, like a promo item, or if you have some extra vitality oils, or if you make some fun lip balms or something, and you want to recognize somebody with a little gift. I actually started doing something this spring. I made these little postcards, and it says, "The flowers of tomorrow are in the seeds of today." You enrolled somebody is basically what that said. You're planting seeds and these flowers are going to come from it. And so on the back, I wrote, well, look at you. You helped someone get enrolled in Young Living last month. It's such a rewarding feeling to help someone and share these products with the people we care about. I'm so thrilled for you to be in this moment. Enclosed is a small gift from me to you to say thank you for helping spread the word about natural health and remedies. Just like someone once shared with you, I know your new member is so grateful for you taking the time to introduce them to these products. And then I go blah, 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 like, let me know if I can help in any way kind of thing. And I just had these printed at Vistaprint, just type something up. And every month I've been sending them to somebody who has enrolled somebody. And it's like atta girl, atta boy, you did it. Keep up the great work, right? I just want to recognize them for growing their team and sharing health and wealth. So, and then the last way I'm going to say to recognize people would be a Zoom, like what we're doing now, and get a disco ball. I got that on Amazon for like $15 or something. And so you can do that and play like a super fun song at the same time and call out the names, or if it's just one person, like go overboard, call them out and be excited. And that's it. That's all my tips for tonight for enrolling people and celebrating their wins.